Welcome, everyone, to a deep dive that starts with one of the most astonishing transformations we have ever explored.
It really is.
We are tracking a life that began, truly defined by absolute scarcity. A child whose earliest memories were shaped by the poverty of Nairobi's slums, a literal dumping ground.
And yet that same individual is now a global figure.
A huge global figure.
Yeah.
Known across, what, 6 continents?
Yeah, importing thoroughbred horses and building these luxurious modern mansions.
It just sounds impossible.
It sounds almost mythic, doesn't it? Yet this is the factual, living story of Frederick Marwa, known everywhere as Iam Marwa.
Exactly.
His journey is, it's the ultimate testament to leveraging the digital age. It just shows how a camera and a passport can completely dismantle the story that birth or geography tries to write for you.
That is the core mission of this deep dive. We really need to unpack the strategy here.
Yeah, the how.
How did a man who still proudly, identifies as a village boy from Nyabohanse, deep in Migori County, Kenya, how did he not only escape those dire circumstances, but then make the very deliberate, conscious choice to return and systematically rebuild his home community?
And that's the key part. This isn't a story about fleeing the past.
No, not at all. It's about conquering it. It's about turning his village into this beacon of African success and, global influence.
And what makes this so compelling for us, I think, is just how transparent his process is.
Totally.
His entire foundation is a grassroots movement of storytelling. Marwa used his YouTube platform not just to showcase, the glamorous travel.
Right, the fun stuff.
But to meticulously document the messy, stone-by-stone process of transformation. The setbacks, the costs, the community friction, and all the emotional labor.
So for you, the listener, you're getting a blueprint here.
It really is a practical guide to rebuilding your life from the ground up, no matter how improbable that starting point seems.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. We have to start right where the fire was forged. If you want to understand the relentless drive, the discipline, and just the sheer ambition of Iam Marwa, you have to first understand the environment he came from.
The scarcity and survival.
We're starting in the Nairobi slums, Dandora Phase 4.
And, the phrase Nairobi slums just doesn't quite capture the brutal reality of Dandora Phase 4 when he was young.
No, it doesn't do it justice.
It wasn't just an impoverished district. It served as the literal official dumping site for the entire city of Nairobi.
The whole city.
Think about that for a moment. Your earliest sensory input, your understanding of the world around you, is defined by the city's refuse.
Where survival often meant scavenging or just navigating an environment saturated with waste.
That environment, it didn't just shape his physical surroundings, it created this intense, almost unbearable moral pressure.
A crucible of choice.
Exactly. It dictated his path. Marwa has spoken so vividly about the tension of his youth.
He said every day was a fork in the road.
Yes, forcing him to choose between dedicating himself to becoming a good person
or following the other path, the path of the thieves bred inside the dams.
Which is such a specific and powerful reference to the criminal elements that just emerged from the sheer desperation of that dump site environment.
And the stakes were terrifyingly high.
Oh, absolutely. He speaks with this genuine sorrow about how many of his childhood friends died young.
And not just from disease, right?
No, not just disease. Through violence or desperation, they were victims of that environment.
It paints a picture of this constant low-grade warfare where just maintaining your personal integrity was an active daily choice.
A choice that required immense willpower, especially for a child surrounded by temptation and, just lack.
And the scarcity was absolute. He provides a detail that is just incredibly arresting to me.
I think I know what you're going to say. The shoes.
The shoes. He did not own a proper store-bought pair of shoes until he was 11 years old.
11 years.
Think about that, just the physical discomfort and the daily indignity of that.
Before that pivotal age, he was wearing what are locally known as Otero shoes.
And for those who haven't encountered them?
Well, Otero shoes are this ingenious but deeply telling sign of poverty. The soles are literally cut and fashioned from discarded tire rubber.
This isn't some kind of fashion statement.
No. This is a resourcefulness born of absolute necessity. That single detail, the image of a child walking on recycled tire tread, it just immediately contextualizes the financial chasm he had to cross.
And this is where the story gets, for me, profoundly moving. because the scarcity left a permanent mark,
A visible one.
a visible one that he carries and displays every single day. The reason he constantly wears sunglasses.
This is such a deep nugget of insight. We really need to spend some time on this.
I agree.
To many viewers of his global vlogs, the sunglasses are just, part of his travel commando image.
Cool, stylish, maybe a bit mysterious.
But the hidden true reason is heartbreaking. He is, in his own words, totally blind in his left eye.
Wow.
He lost his vision permanently at age 11. It was due to an accident or an illness, and his family simply lacked the funds necessary for basic medical treatment.
Treatment that might have saved his sight?
Exactly. It's the ultimate example of the high cost of poverty.
A simple, manageable medical issue left untreated because of a lack of what, maybe a few $100s?
Probably less.
Yeah.
And it resulted in a permanent physical disability.
And that necessity, the fact that bright light is physically uncomfortable and he needs to shield his eye, that created immediate cultural friction.
Yes. When he first started wearing the sunglasses consistently, especially back in the village setting of Nyabohanse, or even indoors,
People gave him a hard time,
a really hard time. They would call him Mashamba.
which is a very culturally loaded term in Kenya.
It is. It means unsophisticated, countrified, or, lacking modern urban manners. He was being ridiculed for a necessity that was caused by the very poverty they all understood.
But the irony is just brilliant.
Isn't it?
That necessary shield against light and discomfort born from a medical tragedy of poverty became the symbolic uniform of the successful global traveler who has conquered that same poverty.
It's such a powerful visual contrast. It ensures he never forgets the history he overcame, but it also shows him refusing to let that disability define his future.
He didn't just accept it as a symbol. He made it a strategic element of his content persona now.
He did. He took a profound vulnerability and turned it into an integrated part of his brand identity. It's a testament to resilience that I think resonates so deeply with his audience.
So how did he even start laying the groundwork for this massive escape? Because
Right.
it wasn't some sudden digital breakthrough.
Not at all. It was through relentless, hands-on, traditional entrepreneurship.
He was financially focused from the jump.
He was. His initial serious business venture was a company he named called Sydney African Textiles.
So selling African prints.
Right, a stable, locally respected business. And the fact that he sustained this venture for 3 years shows a real commitment to business structures, inventory, profit generation. It wasn't just quick hustles.
And crucially, he showed business flexibility.
After textiles, he pivoted directly into the secondhand clothing business.
Which is a massive industry in Kenya.
Huge! And this shift is key because it shows his commitment wasn't to a single product, but to the process of generating reliable income and scaling up. He was building financial muscle.
Learning the value chain, preparing for the eventual move out of that contained world.
Absolutely. He was establishing a financial foundation with one core goal: providing for his family and securing his own freedom.
And when genuine success finally did arrive, the first material evidence of that success was not for himself.
This is such a fundamental part of his character we just cannot overlook.
No. Before he even began construction on Villa Medellin, his own mega villa,
His first major project was fulfilling his parents' lifelong dream.
a beautiful, impressive 2-story mansion for his mother in Isibania, also in Migori County, that was completed back in January 2021.
And that act is hugely significant in the African context. It's more than just generosity.
It's an act of cultural and filial duty.
Exactly. By prioritizing his mother's comfort and status, he anchored his success firmly within his familial and communal roots. He established trust and respect before he ever embarked on his own personal luxury projects.
That focus on tradition, it also extends to the financial and cultural obligation of dowry or dowie.
Right, which he has discussed openly, even as this highly successful global figure.
And he's careful to frame dowie correctly for his global audience.
He is. He emphasizes that this isn't a transaction. It's not a purchase price for a spouse.
No, it's purely a gesture of profound respect and appreciation for the spouse's parents.
Traditionally given in the form of livestock, like cows or other significant gifts.
And Marwa knows that despite his wealth being measured in digital revenue and flight miles, he still has to navigate this cultural obligation with the necessary sensitivity and respect.
Which leads to this brilliant moment of conversational integration in his content.
The joke about the plane tickets.
Yes. He has joked that, given the staggering expenses of his modern global life, His dowry might end up being the cost of the international flight tickets he pays for his family, rather than traditional cows.
And that joke is a perfect bridge into the next phase of his life.
It really is. It shows the tension between ancient custom and these modern global financial realities.
It highlights the high cost of his choices, and it sets the stage perfectly for the massive pivot.
The leap into the digital world and the unprecedented scope of his travel.
Okay, let's turn the page. That foundational grit, born from selling tire shoes and textiles, that is the engine that powered him into the global digital arena.
And this wasn't a slow transformation, it was a detonation.
An explosion is the right word.
It was an immediate explosion of creativity. Marwa didn't just become a travel vlogger.
Right.
He simultaneously entered the scene as a musician, a director, and an actor. It was a complete professional reinvention.
He was leveraging every single facet of performance and creativity to command a global digital audience.
Leaving behind the confines of local business for the limitless market of the internet.
And when we talk about travel, the scope is almost difficult to grasp.
It's hard to get your head around. He has often mentioned covering 5 or even 6 continents within a single year.
6 continents in 1 year.
That level of constant movement, jumping between time zones and cultures, is just a total rejection of the geographically constrained life he grew up in.
It's almost a physical expression of his newfound freedom.
It is, and while he maintains that extreme level of movement, what's notable is his strategic focus this year.
Right, he's narrowed it down.
He has. He centered his attention specifically on 2 areas. South America, particularly Argentina, where his wife Rocabrera is from.
And of course,
Deepening his roots back in Africa. This focused travel allows his current content to contrast the extremes.
the high-octane global adventure versus the deep, grounded project back in the village.
Exactly.
The story of how he met Rocabrera is just a quintessential 21st century narrative hook.
It really is. It wasn't a local meeting. She was halfway across the world scrolling through YouTube
As you do.
when his video about India just popped up on her feed.
An algorithm recommendation changed his life.
And consequently, his entire content trajectory. She started following him initially while he was traveling in America.
So this relationship, born purely through the digital space, it quickly became the central narrative defining his life and his content.
It's the proof in the pudding. The foundation of his transformation, the camera, the storytelling, it can literally bridge any geographic gap.
But bridging those continents comes at a genuinely staggering financial cost.
Oh, and he's been very transparent about this.
He has. The relationship and now the family, it requires him to maintain this highly expensive global existence.
He uses the cost of international flight tickets as a measure of this financial burden.
He broke it down, didn't he?
He did. He calculated that a one-way ticket for his growing family, himself, his wife, and their young son, Maisha, or Mito,
Can cost approximately
$5,100 US. $5,100.
one way.
One way. That single transaction is more than most Kenyans earn in an entire year.
It really emphasizes that maintaining this global family isn't just emotionally demanding. It requires relentless, high-level income generation.
Which leads us directly into his core vlogging philosophy.
Because how do you sustain that level of expenditure without absolute unforgiving discipline?
You don't. His core belief is rooted in intense personal accountability. Marwa insists that success requires extreme discipline and, perhaps most controversially,
A refusal to find a reason to complain.
or blame external factors for failure. He frequently uses the term laziness, not to condemn poverty itself, but to challenge people who he feels have opportunities but constantly seek shortcuts or blame others or just lack consistency.
That is a powerful message, particularly to a young, aspirational audience. But we have to introduce some friction here.
For sure.
Does his absolute insistence on self-discipline risk minimizing or ignoring the very real systemic barriers that others still living in Dandora or Nyabohanse face?
That's the essential critical question.
Barriers like poor infrastructure, lack of capital, access to technology.
And Marwa's stance is often criticized for being overly simplistic, If I did it, anyone can.
Right.
However, his audience appreciates that he is preaching action over victimhood. He views discipline as the only non-negotiable currency.
His point is, if you have internet access and a phone,
Then the excuse of not having resources is replaced by the accountability of not creating content. He doesn't dismiss the systemic issues, but he demands that individuals maximize the small percentage of control they do have.
And he actively backs that philosophy up within his immediate circle.
He does. We see this in the transformation of his former motorbike taxi driver, his Boda guy.
Who he elevated to become his official car driver.
Exactly. Now that Marwa owns vehicles, including that crucial Toyota Land Cruiser for his safari business.
That is a tangible, visible progression. It shows his disciplined philosophy translates into practical opportunities for those around him who showed dedication.
And it transitions directly into his role as a mentor, though he's very pragmatic about the challenges of helping others.
He views himself, and I think correctly, as a stepping stone to hard work.
Right. He's had to manage the risks and the inevitable fallout. He insists that aspiring YouTubers must understand that they have to create their own unique content.
You can't just rely on his name or association as a permanent shortcut.
And this is where the emotional labor of success becomes so apparent. He's shared stories of people he mentored, like Diana Kai, who was initially terrified just to speak on camera.
But when their channels struggled to gain traction on their own,
Sometimes those very people turn critical, even accusing him of sabotage or blaming him for their lack of viral success.
it's a stark reminder that success often attracts envy disguised as expectation.
Absolutely.
But the undeniable, concrete foundation of all his labor is back home. Let's bring the conversation back to Nyabohanse.
Back to the physical manifestation of his journey. Villa Medellin.
The decision to build his own mega two-story villa back in the village is just an act of pure defiance and investment.
This is not a vacation home.
No. This is a permanent structure designed to fundamentally alter the architectural landscape of the area. It's making a statement that modern, luxurious living can exist right there.
In the heart of rural Magori County.
And his commitment to quality is absolute.
He constantly emphasizes using solid stones.
He explicitly contrasts this choice with what he dismissively calls American wood boxes.
Implying, cheaper, less permanent construction methods.
That choice is so strategic. Building with solid stone in this context conveys cultural status, a commitment to longevity that defies the temporary nature of so much poverty.
It's meant to last for centuries, and his meticulous inspection process is part of his content. He's personally checking the foundation, the electrical and CCTV piping installation.
Right down to the finishing materials.
And those finishing materials provide some excellent financial context for anyone listening. He documented his shock at the local price of paint.
He did. He noted that one bucket cost KES $15,000.
Which he translated to about $130 USD.
And to truly grasp the scale of that shock, you need context.
You do. While $130 might be a manageable price for high-end paint in a Western market, KES $15,000 in Kenya represents a substantial portion of the monthly income for many salaried professionals.
So for Marwa to feel shocked by that cost, even with his global income,
It just underscores the sheer investment required to replicate high-quality global standards in a rural Kenyan environment.
he isn't just building a house.
No, he is funding a local economy that demands premium prices for imported or high-quality goods.
This villa, therefore, is so much more than a personal home.
It's a content backdrop, it's a massive community employment project, and it's the literal physical foundation of the Marwa brand back on African soil.
Symbolizing the successful full circle of his journey,
Indeed, and that foundation, it has to accommodate his expanding family structure.
which is the very lifeblood driving this massive sustainable project.
We mentioned his son, Maisha, born in February 2024.
Right, and Marwa has stated openly his long-term desire for a very large family.
He aims for up to 10 children.
10. So that vision dictates the need for space, sustainability, and a high degree of organization at Villa Medellin.
And the dynamics shifted even further with the integration of his in-laws, Mr. Louis and Mama, who are now residing in the village.
Which brings a whole new layer of cultural integration and financial planning.
He's supporting not just his nuclear family, but his extended, integrated global family unit right there in Nyabohanse,
And he's financially planning for their comprehensive upkeep.
focusing specifically on improving the balanced diet of food for the entire extended family. He's looking past simple subsistence toward genuine nutrition and quality of life.
And crucially, he understands that purpose is as important as provision.
Yes, he actively plans to involve Mr. Louis, his father-in-law, in physical work on the farm.
Maybe painting or maintenance.
Exactly. This isn't just busy work, it's a recognition that his father-in-law is an active person who needs an outlet and a continued sense of contribution.
Maintaining dignity and purpose alongside the financial support.
This active management of the extended family feeds directly into his ultimate vision for Villa Medellin,
An off-the-grid and super slow life experience.
systematically turning his land into a highly productive, self-sufficient farm.
The agricultural efforts are meticulous.
They are. He has successfully established a thriving fish pond, which is a major commitment of time and resources.
Alongside rows of bananas, papayas, macadamia nuts, this commitment ensures food security and self-reliance.
A direct contrast to the scarcity he faced in Dandora.
But farming in a rural setting, even with wealth, comes with these relentless natural challenges.
For sure. He's documented the ongoing fight against invasive passion fruit vines.
And this isn't just gardening, it's a pitched battle.
It is. These vines are aggressive climbers. They're literally strangling his more desirable and valuable fruit trees like his lemons and mangoes.
It's a powerful metaphor for the persistence required in any major project.
He has to engage in hands-on strategic separation and wiring just to give the young trees a chance to survive the choking vines.
And on top of that, he's battling infrastructure issues and the unpredictable African climate.
Right. Crops have been damaged by severe weather, specifically hail.
And his attempt to manage water resources, that really highlights his engineering mindset.
He's actively trying to create a closed recycling loop to capture the overflow from the fish pond and feed it back into the system.
Rather than allowing the water to simply flow down to the river.
He recognizes the fragility of the water supply. He said, if there is no rain, the fish pond will run dry in 10 days.
This practical, resourceful approach, worrying about rotting pipes and wood.
It shows that his global success hasn't distanced him from the fundamental infrastructure challenges of village life.
He's just applying global engineering lessons to solve them.
Meanwhile, the global ventures are expanding into formal business structures.
We have two significant new businesses, Marwa Safaris Africa, which is a registered travel company,
and Marwa III, the highly ambitious horse project.
The horse project is an incredible financial and logistical undertaking.
It was introduced to him by his wife, Ro, and it has evolved into a genuine passion for him.
He imported 6 horses,
Yeah.
and the figures involved are just astounding.
He revealed that transporting a single male horse from South Africa to Kenya cost him $5,000 USD.
$5,000. That's just for transport.
Transport cost alone, before the purchase price, veterinary checks, quarantine, customs, all of it.
That is a massive sunk cost, which raises the strategic question. Is this pure passion, or is it a calculated luxury tourism offering for Marwa Safaris?
I think it's both, which is often the key to Marwa's most successful ventures.
He does seem to love the horses.
Oh, he does. He's managing the training of the untrained stallion, Raindrop, and celebrating the successful breeding with Malika, anticipating foals.
But they also provide a unique, high-value asset for his safari business.
Exactly. This allows Marwa Safaris to offer an exclusive, luxury equine experience that differentiates them from standard Jeep tours.
Which justifies premium pricing down the line.
And the larger Marwa Safaris vision is aimed directly at disruption.
He's using his new Toyota Land Cruiser to operate his own tours, aiming to counter the incredibly high prices charged by established safari companies.
He noted that some companies charge up to $500 per day just for a Land Cruiser rental.
Forcing tourists into budget compromises.
Right, so by leveraging his existing brand, his vehicles, and his intimate knowledge of the region, he's looking to make African travel more accessible and affordable.
Challenging the established tourism industry structure.
And he hasn't forgotten the lessons learned during his nomadic phase.
Particularly his detailed appreciation for global hostels.
Yes, he often visits places like Distant Relative and Kilify, and those experiences are clearly informing his next project.
He views these visits as research.
He does. He admires the nature-first design philosophy, the use of outdoor showers, the communal spaces that foster connection, and critically,
The modern amenities.
the incorporation of specific modern amenities. He notes the importance of providing high-standard facilities like specific types of toilets for European visitors to mitigate the culture shock that might deter international guests.
And this research directly fuels his future ambition.
To build a luxury hostel back in Nyabohanse.
Directly importing the highest quality design elements he's learned from traveling and staying in these internationally recognized nature-integrated spaces.
He is essentially importing global hospitality standards to his rural home.
This constant cycle, traveling the world to learn and then bringing those lessons, that capital and that construction quality, back to Nyabohanse.
That is the defining feature of the Marwa brand.
This transformation, however, has not been without its cost,
No.
particularly in his relationship with the community. Where there is sudden visible wealth and global connection in a small village, you see incredible positive impact.
But it's often followed by profound suspicion.
Let's start with the incredible positive impact, though, because it demonstrates the immense power of his platform.
The story of the 10-day house.
It's now legendary. In February 2023, he leveraged his global audience to build a complete 3-bedroom house for his neighbor, Anna, and her family.
Finishing the entire structure in under 10 days.
It's unbelievable. And this wasn't just a local fundraiser.
No, it was a global campaign. Money, material, and support poured in through the internet, mobilized and directed into a single, highly visible project in a small Kenyan village.
It demonstrated the collective power of his community in a way that local leaders just could not ignore.
And that generosity has become reciprocal.
It has. The community and his supporters respond with these concrete gifts related to his projects.
We've seen him receive bags of cement, a massive water tank,
And even a large bale containing over 20 duvets and comforters for his future guest house.
This is a practical, physical acknowledgement of his efforts. It shows real community engagement.
However, this sudden radical shift in fortune led to the dark side of success.
The wealth, the frequent international travel, and his connections led to some really disturbing accusations from some villagers.
The rumors were serious and specific.
Very. Villagers accused Marwa of involvement in cultism, specifically Freemasonry.
And even claimed he was recruiting others using his fame and wealth as a lure.
Which just shows the deep sociological friction that arises when rapid, visible financial success breaks the local norms of what is deemed possible or, legitimate.
And the situation escalated beyond mere gossip.
It did. The issue became so widespread and so serious that the village chief was forced to convene a formal community meeting.
Specifically to address the rampant rumors of cult involvement. This wasn't a private affair.
No, this was a public crisis of trust.
Marwa's response during that meeting was not defensive, though.
Not at all. It was a powerful, strategic challenge to the prevailing mindset.
He first denied the accusations vehemently. I believe in God and I am not a Mason.
But his most potent statement was aimed at the underlying skepticism that attributes hard-earned success to sinister forces.
He laid down a fundamental truth. He said, ignorance is a disease, poverty is not for God, and riches are not for the devil.
That quote is so critical. He was directly challenging the cultural normalization of scarcity,
The idea that poverty is somehow divinely blessed or inevitable.
and that wealth must therefore be inherently corrupt or supernatural. He urged them to embrace success as a legitimate, positive possibility achievable through hard work.
He tried to shift an entire community's worldview in one single meeting.
And the challenge of managing relationships hasn't just been limited to community rumors. It extends to those he mentored.
Success often reveals the true intentions of collaborators.
He's shared the pain of betrayal. Some people he enthusiastically helped build their platforms later became critical.
Even blaming him when their own content struggled.
They were seeking a shortcut, and when the shortcut failed, the benefactor became the scapegoat.
That experience, it reinforced the crucial value of genuine appreciation over mere transactional expectation.
He cites the concrete gift of cement, brought by Diana Kai, one of the YouTubers he mentored, as a source of inspiration.
That cement, it represents a physical manifestation of gratitude.
It showed that she wasn't just waiting for a handout, she was investing in his vision too. This distinction between the true collaborators and the dependents is so crucial for his future brand development.
And that focus on accountability and genuine partnership is leading to the formalization of the Marwa brand.
He's moving away from casual mentorship to strategic business development,
He's developing an official foundation specifically for rural creatives.
launching structured digital education courses and formalizing business partnerships, for instance, with companies offering furniture and kitchen appliances for his massive project.
And the key to this new phase is professionalism.
Yes, he now asks collaborators to write precise, point-form proposals. No more long, flowery emails about dreams and potential.
He wants clear business terms.
Yeah?
We will do this for you, and we expect this in return.
This strategy serves two purposes. First, it filters out those looking for shortcuts, demanding they treat the interaction as a professional business proposition.
And second, it legally and professionally protects him from the inevitable claims of being cheated if a partnership later goes sour.
It's the ultimate maturation of the village boy, moving from selling textiles to managing international business proposals and high-stakes community development.
So we've tracked this incredible sweeping arc, from the brutal moral choices made daily in the Dandora dump site,
Enduring permanent vision loss due to a lack of funds.
through years of relentless, high-stakes global travel, to his conscious, determined decision to invest all that capital and influence back into Nyabohanse.
He is not just building a personal retreat.
No, he is creating a global content base and a community hub.
Marwa's story is the perfect example of navigating the tension between two worlds.
He's constantly negotiating between maintaining those deep African roots, the farm, the cultural respect, the extended family.
And leveraging the vast network and capital of his global connections, the vlogging, the horse importation, the Land Cruiser business.
And he uses his platform to actively counter and ultimately defeat the old negative narrative of Africa.
The one defined by poverty and aid.
Instead, he showcases a forward-moving, aspirational continent where monumental things built with global vision and local labor are rising right there in the village.
And if we distill this transformation down to the core lesson for you, the learner, it is the uncompromising power of persistence coupled with a fiercely positive, intentional mindset.
His life is defined by that incredibly difficult mantra. If you want to move, you leave excuses behind.
That, paired with maintaining appreciation for every stepping stone on the journey, is what sustained him through poverty, blindness, and accusations.
Think of the depth of the challenges Marwa overcame, losing his sight, his friends, and later facing the potential destruction of his hard-won reputation through those cultism rumors.
Yet he never faltered in his drive to build something solid, stone by solid stone.
And that leaves us with a provocative thought to carry forward from this deep dive.
If a person, starting with nothing but Otero shoes fashioned from tire rubber and a permanent disability caused by poverty, can transform his entire home village into a beacon of global influence and prosperity.
What is the one big paralyzing fear or excuse? That thing we keep holding on to that we need to drop right now to start building our own dream.
It's a question of internal accountability versus external limitation.
Food for thought as you pursue your own journey.
Absolutely. It's about moving forward, leaving excuses in the dust.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.